President Wickremesinghe, who is Sri Lanka's biggest creditor as of today?
Pardon?
Who is Sri Lanka's biggest creditor as of today?
Who do you think?
You tell me.
Huh?
I think it's China.
It's the international sovereign bonds. That's the biggest.
Bilateral creditor?
No, bilateral is China, but our biggest creditor is the private. The private creditors, they form the largest number.
And China is the biggest bilateral creditor?
It's a bilateral, yeah.
And yet China has refused to be included in debt restructuring. Why do you think they want to separate?
China has been in it separately. We negotiate with them separately. It has nothing to do with Sri Lanka or any other countries. They are not satisfied with the terms they are getting from the IMF and the World Bank. They feel that they should have a bigger role to play in the IMF. So they've decided to opt out of it, and they are going separately. It's making life more difficult for all of us who are in debt. But this is the reason. It's had nothing to do with that. It's something that has been sorted out by the big boys.
But China is stalling the IMF relief that Sri Lanka so
No,
desperately
China has now agreed. They sent in their letters of consent, and we have conveyed to the others the content of their letter. The letter was sent in confidence to us. We've requested China also to give copies to the other members.
China is often called a loan shark, and over the past few months they played hardball with Sri Lanka as well. Did you at some point feel that you were dealing with a loan shark?
I won't say it's a loan shark. We knew they were going to play it separately and differently, but I also knew that with the others responding, China was also going to give a similar response. And I agreed to meet, I wanted to meet with President Xi, which they agreed at the Belt and Road. It was not an easy thing to negotiate debt restructuring among international geopolitics, but that's what happened.
You met him in October. What did you tell him?
I discovered, by that time I had spoken to the others. He said, no, we will be sending you our requirement, our consent. So didn't go into details, we had already discussed it. But I must say, first we appreciate India, $3.5 billion that was given. That was useful. Secondly, the other countries helped us and the multilaterals.
I will come to the role of India, but do you believe that Beijing has been an honest broker during Sri Lanka's financial crisis?
We didn't have any difficulty dealing with them.
Do you think India would agree with this assessment? Because India has been trying to bring all the creditors on one platform and China refuses to join it.
Yes, no, we also suggested one platform. China refused to do it, it's our suggestion.
So they did make your life more difficult?
I mean, dealing with two groups was not easy. But then the outcome, I think, again, even if even in respect to other countries, this will happen. The message is that China is sending a message to the IMF and others. So it's up for them to sort it out.
But what is the message Sri Lanka taking from this episode?
No,
vis-a-vis China?
Pardon? No, we know that China has now cooperated and they've given their positive answer.